Hey guys, Sovereign Jane Jenkins here, and I'm the author of P Policy, which is about setting boundaries and maintaining self respect, self help book to elevate the consciousness of women in society. So, today I want to talk about boundaries and detachment. The person that gave me the masterclass on boundaries and detachment was my stepfather. When he found out that I was not his daughter and me and my brother were not his biological children, he took off. He did not say goodbye. He did not ask any second questions. It was swab and he disappeared from our lives. Meanwhile, I was still confused as to where he went because no one told me. I didn't find out till years later. And the worst pain in the world is to have a funeral for somebody without the body being there because there's never any real closure. So it was an automatic boundary there. Despite the fact that I was calling and kept trying to call the house and the phone and no one picked up. So it was very heartbreaking being a teenager and a parent falling off the face of the earth and nobody would tell you why. It's akin to losing someone that's gave you life, that literally nurtured you from birth. Like they film me being born and I hear his voice first on the recording. And to go from that, a very nurturing, very loving, very caring father who was there, to silence, crickets. That feeling, that's like someone taking a knife, sticking it into the vena cava of your heart, twisting it 2 times to the left and then 3 times to the right, and taking it out again and then stabbing it all over again. I mean, it's very gruesome and it's very graphic, but that's how it feels, especially when no one would tell you the truth. But at the same time, once I became an adult, I had to respect the fact that he did not want a relationship with me based off the fact that my parents had me and my father approached my mom to have me outside of wedlock, outside of the union of her marriage with her ex-husband, which was my stepfather. So could I really be mad at anyone in this scenario? I mean, yeah, because at the end of the day, that was his choice. He chose to leave. He chose to shut the door. He chose his new wife and his new family, despite the fact that he literally raised me. He raised me until I was 13. And he would go back and say that basically, us being illegitimate, it took food out of our older brother's mouth. So there was a lot of details and a lot of going back and forth amongst this messy situation. But this is the truth of a lot of black households nowadays. It's so much murkiness and so much messiness that sometimes we don't want it to come to the forefront and we don't want to have these discussions, but they impact us on a monumental level. Like it impacts your relationships as an adult. It impacts your relationships as you grow. It impacts the way you attach. It gives you attachment issues from earlier on if a parent just up and disappears out of your life. So it has so many indications in your life, and sometimes you don't realize it until you're much older. And a lot of people never address these wounds because these wounds are literally in their soul. They don't know how to address it. They don't know how to talk about it. They don't know how to get the pain out. But that pain, if you don't address it, it's just going to sit there and fester. And the way to address it, and sometimes you have to keep ruminating, going back to it and going over it over and over again until you find peace and you find understanding, you find reasons behind everyone's actions in the situation. You learn to forgive, not necessarily forget, but forgive those people who trespassed against you. And even though they left your life, you have to have peace with the fact that they're no longer there. Even though they may be still alive, you still have to have enough soul and enough gumption within yourself to still love them, even though you haven't truly gotten over the situation, because that's a soul wound. To have a parent walk off from you and never look back, you never really heal, but you can brainwash yourself into believing that this is the best option for you, that them leaving your life was for a positive reason, and that them staying gone is also going to be for a positive reason because it's going to project you to succeed regardless of whether they're there or not. And that's the truth of the matter. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. If people want to say goodbye and release you from their life, you have to accept it and move on and learn to cry to your pillow and understand the fact that it's not on you. That's not your bad. That's not your fault. You should not blame yourself, especially if you're a young woman or you're a very young man who are dealing with these types of dynamics in your familial household. It is not your fault. And you have to figure out a way to find peace, find a therapist, find a clinician, find somebody to talk to walk you through that pain and through those trauma points and through those triggers, and understand that it is not you, it's them, it's the situation. You are valuable, you are worth loving, and you are worth spending time with, and you are worth sacrificing for, regardless of who leaves your life. So this is my reminder to anyone who have experienced this growing up, that keep living, keep going, and understand that it is not you. It's the situation, it's the circumstances. Nobody told my father, my biological father, to approach my mother in the parking lot of Burger King. Nobody told him to. He did that on his own accord. He saw her, he wanted children with her, and that's what he went for. Now, am I upset? No, because I'm here. Am I upset with my stepdad because he left my life? That's a difficult question. That's a loaded question because this person is still alive. However, I've found peace with the situation all around, because that's what my soul required. That's what my spirit required. I'm no longer upset at anyone. I just want to progress and move forward as an individual, and not be a victim to this life, and not be a slave to the circumstances that brought me up. I'm the victor. I've shifted into my victor mindset, and no one can take that from me. So I go into that a little bit in this book and the dynamics behind it. So if you are interested, check it out. It is a great read. It is a roller coaster ride. It's love triangles, it's unexpected connections, it's reconnections, it's detachments. It is highlights, high points, down points, in, out, and all the way all around. So please check it out. It is on Amazon, Kindle, and other online platforms, as well as my website, boundariesandtdetachment.com. Thank you. Sovereign Jane Jenkins.